So let's get started here. What you'll need is a couple of blocks and possibly a blanket or something that's soft like a pillow. I have neither, so I'm going to not use props today, and you're certainly welcome to do that as well. Start seated. Some powerful heart-opening sequences today. Ignite your passion. What does that mean to you? In the yoga philosophy, we have the yamas and the niyamas, which are observances or that we should abstain from, and then internal awarenesses or courtesies to ourselves that we cultivate over time. One of those is tapas, or self-discipline, is the direct translation. And in effect, though, when we have self-discipline, we're able to focus on that which is our passion. We get sidetracked and detoured often with things that are not important to us, but are in the way of seeing us be fruitful in our own passions and abilities. So bringing to light, maybe with the hands on the heart, something that you are passionate about in this life. There's something that you're passionate about in this day. I am passionate about yoga, obviously, that's why I'm teaching. Also passionate about transformation and creating a safe environment where it's conducive to occurring to yourself differently, or being able to see life from a new lens if our lens is clouded over. Transformation is one of the things that I'm very passionate about. That's bettering our best every day through awareness, presence, and self-discipline. So what is it you're passionate about? Your family, your relationships. Maybe it's something that you did as a child and now as a hobby, art, painting, books, reading. Picture that in your mind's eye, how that makes you feel. And you stoke the fire of passion, or the ability to move forward, our will in this life to do the thing that we're meant to do. Like we all maybe are discovering that, or perhaps you already know your purpose in this life and you're living your dharma. If you feel confused about that, listen in a little closer to your heart. What makes you happy? What makes you tick? What do you want to share with the world? It's like you can't hold back. You just do that thing. That's what the world needs. Let's bring the arms open, and we can live on our mat or take this practice as if we're living in the world, and that is passionately. So with every asana practice, every breath we take, exhale, bring your hands back down. Earth and sky breath. Inhale overhead. Exhale, moving the arms down. And welcome those who just joined us on Zoom. Thank you for joining us. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, back down. Take a couple more of those. So we'll really take this passion and tapas into self-discipline in our mat today. We may do some postures with a little longer hold. Let's go up and over to the right. Really stretching and opening up the spine this morning. If it's the first extension you've done, this is great. Get a little bit bigger, come back to center, and then exhale. Because anything hard is going to require from us self-discipline, or the discipline to stay focused and on task, whatever that is for you. And then I'll bring it back to center. Let's twist. We're taking the spine in all 5 directions. This happens to be one of the directions, rotation. We also have the direction upward, which is extension or decompression. And we did side flexion. Let's take it in a circumduction as well. Moving through the hip. Reverse the action. So keep that going. I'm just gonna put the chat on. If you have comments or want to chat, you can chime in the box. Or if there's something necessary, you can unmute yourself as well. So I have the ability to hear you if you have questions online. Okay. So from here, then we'll take it into the 4th movement and 5th, which is cat-cow. So there's extension, which is a back bend, and then there's flexion, which is a forward bend. And as you do the bending in the spine, see if you can bend in harmony, the same rate through the entirety of the spine. Because when we go forward into flexion, the upper spine or thoracic spine really wants to move faster than the lower. So to combat that, pull the belly in and see if you can get more curvature in the lower spine. Likewise, when we come forward, the low back is much easier to bend than the thoracic. So lift the sternum. Do that twice more. And then we'll take it with the arms open as you inhale. And then exhale, float them across the body. Inhale, open. And exhale, back. One more time. And exhale. Take the arms wide and then overhead. We'll do breath of fire. So just one round today of 54 repetitions. So bring the fingers closed in, the thumbs are extended up. Breathing in and out forcefully through the belly, or through the nose, but the belly is forcing the breath in and out. And I'm exhaling through the nose and inhaling through the nose. You may need to get a tissue before you begin. So full breath in and begin. Keep an even pace. 10. Keep the arms overhead, endurance. Cultivating self-discipline and passion. Your endurance, arms lifted, 20. You can do it. 30. Strong. 40, sorry. 50, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale all the air out. Breathe in. Bring the thumbs together. Tapping. Hold the breath at the top with Moha Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and Jalandhara if you can. All the locks. Then the fingers, bring the palms together, lift the chin and exhale the air out. Just as a reminder, if you have questions, you can put them in the chat, save them for the end of class, and I'll get to those for sure. Let's come on to hands and knees. And move in a circular pattern just to charge the whole torso. And then extend the right leg back, the toe on the ground, and press through the heel. Propel yourself forward or pulse forward through the toe, and then back through the heel. So giving the torso a chance to glide forward and back slightly here. Inhale and exhale. We're going to take a sweeping motion with the toe out to the side. The leg comes all the way out. Keep the forward motion and then sit back. Now we have greater mobility in the torso. We're also effectively opening up the inner thigh and the leg. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale. Forward one more time. Exhale, the hips back. My heel is, the toes are turned under, so the hip comes to the heel. And then I come forward again. Sweep or circle the leg back to start position. Circle the opposite foot. So I'm going to pivot on the knee and open into side plank here. Motioning the right arm all the way up and over in a big circular pattern. Down through the right foot. Hold 3 breaths, nice wide and open space, expanse through the side body. And that's already 3 breaths. Bring the right hand to the floor, the right knee. And again, move in a circular pattern, jump rope, or anything that feels good to you. So figure 8 with the hips. We'll extend the left leg to the back of the mat, the toes touching the earth. And then pulse forward and back again, and leading the movement through the toe. And forward and pressing all the way back. And take a sliding circle with the leg from the back to the side. So just simply press it out and bring the hips to the heels. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, press the hips to the heels. And forward. It's much like we're going into a child's pose, but one leg is extended out, and that creates some more stretch and opening, aliveness in the inner thighs. The leg back, plant the right hand, the left foot, and then pivot as you turn now to face the side, or the kick side plank facing the back of whatever room you're in, and I'm to say the back of my backyard. Keep the left arm up and over. I'm just taking advantage of this beautiful weather that we're having. It may be the last, one of the few times we can do this outside. And then plant the left hand to the floor, we bring it all the way back to a hands and knees position. Extend the right leg back one more time, this time, and then lift or elevate the leg so it's hip height. And look back and check to see where your heel is in relationship to the hip. It's all hamstring here to lift up, keeping the hip square and not opening or rotating. So that inner thigh is extending upward. And then take the left arm out to the front. So it's a horizontal line from the tip of your pinky finger to the tip of your toe. Extend those in opposition. Inhale, raise them a little higher, maybe a millimeter. And then exhale, bring the elbow to the knee. So we're tuck and touch underneath the torso. Inhale, raise it right back up. Exhale, touch the knee. Elbow, inhale again, extend. Exhale. Really lift the back hamstring. Plant your left hand. Pivot one more time, and we're going to rotate. We're back in side plank. This time the back leg is elevated. We'll extend through the side body. Right arm reaching forward, bicep to the ear. The foot from the hip is rooting towards the wall on the opposite end. Bend the knee and then reach around, clasp the top of the foot. Press the foot into the hands. We're opening into a half bow pose and a half side plank, keeping the ribs intact so they're plugging towards the back body. Open the chest and heart even more. This is the foundation we're building on to progress into Ustrasana today, Camel Pose. So back bends don't mean you bend in the low back. It means you extend the spine. And again, try to take the thoracic spine. Let's go ahead and release that. Bring your right foot to the floor. Right arm to the sky, and then lift all the way up. So we're in Badakanasana. We're going to take gate pose. Right hand to the thigh, with the left arm up and over. So taking a break here. Again, the thoracic region is slow to extend, and that's where we want our back bend to really affect, and not so fast in the low back. So we're going to tone or tame the low back from its quick motion to collapse, and keep it in extension. And we're prepping for that. Let's bring the left hand back to the earth, right hand down, and then bring the knees to the floor. We'll take that to the other side. So the left leg extends up, out to the back wall as high as your hip. Really lifting the inner thigh as much as you are the outer thigh. So the rotation of the leg is so that the knee is facing the floor and your pinky toe. As you raise it, we're not raising the hip. Watch that. Reach the right arm forward and extend through the fingertips from the waist out to the toe. And bring the elbow to knee as you exhale. Inhale again, sweeping motion. Exhale, touch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, touch. Inhale, extend. Bring the right hand to the floor, pivot on the right knee, and then we'll open back into our side plank. This time we have an elevated leg. Bring the left arm all the way up and over, place it to the ear. Elongate horizontal pattern, pull the ribs in, and bend the top leg, and we'll backtrack the arm so it's back by the foot. Push the foot into the hand. Open into a bow pulling pose through side plank. And where we want to keep it long is the low back here. Really open the thoracic region, shoulder blades on the back. Clavicles opening, heart opening. 2 and 1. Release the leg. Bring the arm to the sky. You'll plant the foot to the earth and raise yourself up. So the arms are going to be horizontal. We'll take the left arm to the thigh and the right arm up to the sky. So you're seeing this from the back view right now. My apologies, my back is to you, but sometimes you get to see it from another angle. Let's come back to horizontal with the arms and plant the right hand down, left hand, and come back onto the hands and knees. Of course, if you would like to use a blanket or bolster, a blanket or something soft under the knees would be certainly appropriate right now. Sit back on your heels in a child's pose, and we'll take a sun salutation. It really expresses the movement of the spine in flexion and extension. So in child's pose, we're actually more rounded. So this would be flexion, kind of forward, fold. And as you inhale, you're going to take the hands back behind the heels, so you're upright. We're in Badakanasana. Fingertips behind the toes, and then lift the heart. We're pulling the shoulders broad and the clavicle away from each other. The shoulder blades can help initiate more movement, more openness by pressing it onto the back of the heart. Take a breath in. So that's extension, right? Bring the hands forward onto hands and knees. Neutral spine here. Inhale, then go to extension again. Exhale, turn the toes under, neutral spine into downward facing dog. And it's more forward fold, and we call this flexion. but keeping the spine more in a neutral alignment. Inhale, come into a top of a push-up. And bring the knees to the floor, neutral spine. Propel yourself forward as you bend the elbows and lower down Chaturanga. Release the neutral spine into extension again in low cobra. Pubic bone stays down to the floor. Pull the sit bones towards your heels and raise the torso. Exhale, release. Press through hands and knees into flexion of the spine, back in child's pose. We're going to go through that a few more times at a pace that is a little quicker and combined with the breath and matched with the breath. So from here, on your next inhale, raise up, bring the hands behind the heel and lift the torso. Exhale, flip the arms forward, hands and knees. Inhale into cow. Just a little flexion, extension there. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, come to the top of a push-up. Pause here. Exhale, the knees to the floor. Pull back with the elbows, lower down Chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra. Let's come up a little bit higher. Hold the low cobra. Give it a little sway side to side. It's just one of my favorite things to do. Yogini style. If that hurts your low back, stay lower. And move side to side in this directive. Stay safe in your low back. And press all the way back into child's pose. I'm going to teach you some tips today for really honing in that skill set of keeping your low back safe. Okay, so twice more. Arms. Torso raises, hands come behind the heels. Inhale, lift, reach up. Exhale, bring the hands forward, hands and knees. Inhale to cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, top of a push-up. Knees or no knees, you choose. Propel yourself forward. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra. Any style. Exhale, back into child's pose. We'll take this one more time. Inhale, hands pull back. Lift the sternum. Exhale, plant the hands. Coming forward. Inhale to cow. Exhale, neutral spine, downward facing dog. Inhale into plank. Propel yourself forward. Neutral spine, Chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra. And exhale back into child's pose. Completed the whole circuit, our sun salutation today. Come onto the hands and knees. Turn the toes under and come into a downward facing dog. Beautiful job. Step your feet forward to the top of your mat. Inhale, place the hands on the shins so you get a flat back. And then exhale, drop in and down through rounding. Let's do that twice more. Bring the feet slightly wider. Inhale, hands to shin. We've got a little more space between the feet, maybe hip distance. Exhale, drop in and down. So we give our hamstrings a little more leverage and space. One more time. Do the flat back. And then exhale, drop in and down. We're going to soften the knees, hold the elbows, and allow the torso to lengthen the spine from the tip of the tailbone all the way down. If you find yourself raised up, like here, that puts too much pressure on your back. Place your hands on your shins or bend until you have support. Don't want you hanging out in your low back, okay? If your hamstrings are open and you're tipping, gravity on the spine is a very healthy space to be in right here, okay? Just make sure that you're more than halfway down, okay? Not hanging out right here, that's not halfway, more than halfway. It's like somewhere between 45 degree angle. That would be appropriate. There's no pressure on my back whatsoever right here. It just feels really good to allow myself, as if I were on a tricky bar, to come up and over and lay over the top of it so my belly is supporting me. And release. Fingertips to the floor if they're not already. Bend the knees and roll up slowly, one vertebra at a time. Then roll back down. So this is that cat-cow motion. We're doing it standing. Inhale, we're rounding the back and lifting. Exhale, extending the back. And feel the spine. Do this slow motion, I don't know, energetic movement. I guess a slow motion whip, if you would. It looks, I don't know, to me it feels like I'm a jellyfish in water. And you know how elegant they are. Let's come all the way up to standing. You just very, very soft movement. Inhale, let's take the arms overhead. In an active stance, press down through the feet, pull the ribs in, and really accentuate the lengthening through the crown of the head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a flat back. And then step back with the right leg, left leg meets it. We're in a high push-up, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. So the tops of the feet come down. We press strongly into the earth. Open the shoulders, clavicle wide and down away from the ears. Then roll over the toes. Press the floor away, downward facing dog. Pause here for a breath. Or two. And then step the right leg forward, top of the mat. Left leg meets it. Inhale to a flat tabletop. Exhale, drop in and down. You can go a little deeper. Inhale all the way to standing. Palms together, hands at your heart. Now that we're awake, we'll do one more of those. Inhale, the sun salutation A. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back with the left leg and the right leg follows. We're in a high push-up, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog, strong legs. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Press the heels to the mat. Breathe in, breathe out. Enjoy the air, the sunshine, posture, the opening, everything that you're feeling. Step the left leg forward, right leg meets it. Inhale, we have so much to be grateful for. Ignite the passion within. Exhale, forward fold. You have to offer to the world. Inhale, offer it up. Full circle, hands to your heart, which is where all passion stems from. You're going to take a big step back with the right leg, coming into a high crescent lunge. The arms extending upward. Inhale, exhale, fold forward. The arms flowing back behind you. Inhale, the arms up. Sky, exhale, leaning forward. Nothing changes in the torso. We're just really stretching out the right hip flexor here. Woo. Exhale, forward. And as you come up, spin the back heel to the floor and come into warrior one. We'll place the right hand on the knee and take it into reverse action. So the left arm comes up, back through warrior two. Elbow to the thigh and reach the right arm overhead. Inhale, back through reverse warrior. And then straighten the front leg. Take a triangle pose, so shift the ribs forward. Take a hand to the shin. The arm, right arm, extends upward. 3, 2, wow, that's powerful and bright. 1, bend the knee, coming into side angle. We'll drop the right hand forward and walk the hands out just a little bit. So placing the hands on the floor, take a downward facing dog shape in the upper torso as the lower torso stays in a warrior two. You could also move this into humble warrior where the arms are behind and we're just draping the torso. Good, both hands to the floor. Square the hips, lift the back knee, or lift the back heel, and then rotate. Bring your left hand to the floor, step back. And let's take a Chaturanga. So you're freeing that left leg up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Extend the right leg to the sky. Step all the way through. And press the back foot forward. Inhale, lifting to a flat back. Exhale, round it down and in. Inhale all the way to standing. We'll repeat that through the second side, hands to your heart center. So you'll see this from a different angle. I'll stay on this side. Left leg steps back. Right leg is forward. Find your balance. This is the difficult part. Arms come overhead. Inhale. And then exhale. Float the arms to the side. As you lean forward and you create this diagonal line with the whole torso, you push through the front foot, pull the ribs in, and lift back into standing. Do that again, floating forward. Mindful movement here means that we're connected, all body parts. We're not just going through the motion, we're actually feeling the support from the ground up. Inhale, one last time going forward. And as you raise this time, bring the arms around into a horizontal position, warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Same action we did earlier. And then side angle, form to the thigh. Get the opportunity to open that knee so it's directly tracking the second, third toe. Reverse the warrior again, just kind of like a straight leg. Come into Trikonasana. Shift the hand, comes to the shin and left arm. Reaches out steady and strong through the legs. This is my favorite pose. And it may or may not be for you. Really dependent on what we've been doing, how tight we are in the hamstring. For sure, the center thigh might not be as comfortable. So bend the front knee, bring your left hand to the floor and walk your hands forward. So they're even with the front foot, but I'm walking forward. And then I'm going to take the hips back, keep the arms in that position, and let the chest fall towards the floor. Okay, if you'd like, it's the same to bring the arms behind the back, base of the spine, and then hover forward in a humble warrior. I like that. Let's everybody do that. If you'd like. Okay. Then release the arms. Walk it all the way around. Pop your back heel up so we're in a low lunge, and the right arm is going to extend overhead. Do a little twist. Rotate the right hand to the floor, step back. We'll take a Chaturanga here. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. The left leg sweeping up, inhale, and step all the way through to a low lunge, back foot steps in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, drop in and down. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Palms together, hands to the heart center. Shoulders a little roll forward, up, back, and down. Active stance. So we'll take this to the floor. We're not doing a lot of standing today, but more back bends from a floor standpoint. We'll open up, getting us ready for Ustrasana, bring the arms overhead, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. This time you'll bend the knees and jump back. Take a Chaturanga. You always have the option of bringing the knees to the floor. Always, always. Then let's come into a low cobra and then bring it all the way to the floor. Foreheads touching. You're on your mat, foreheads touching. Hands at your side, even with the mid-chest as your thumb. Fingers spread and gripping the floor. Hug the elbows in, lift the shoulders away from the floor. Then pull the elbows back as you peel the head, neck, and shoulders off the earth in a very low cobra. We'll raise the palms off the floor and come into jet airplane. And then lift back feet to the sky. Fold. 3, 4, Shalabhasana. 2. Legs extending. 1, and then release to the floor. We'll do this several times now with pulse. So bring the hands in a goal post. They're at your side, resting. We'll raise the legs, and before you do that, one trick of staying out of the low back, I'm gonna scoot back just a little bit, is to take the sit bones and hug them towards the heels. Pull the low belly in and press the pubic bones down. Okay, that will stabilize the hips, keep you out of your low back. Now when you raise the legs, you're raising with the hamstring. You're gonna hold the legs a couple of inches off the ground, squeeze and hug to midline, not touching, but the inner thighs are engaged. Arms and goalposts will raise the torso on an inhale. Make sure your elbows are broad, and then on an exhale, we'll lower just the upper torso. Inhale, legs remain lifted, and exhale, lower. Inhale, we got 5 of these to go. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale, keep the back legs raised, raised, raised. Exhale, lower. I know, work those hamstrings. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Both the legs and the arms to the earth. Shake the hips out. Oh, there's nothing like yoga to show us where our weak spots are, for sure. You're training the whole body to a cooperative effort to balance and be in harmony. One of the things that makes us difficult is we don't work the back a whole lot, so that can be challenging. But you did it. That's awesome. All right, then bring the hands even with the chest. Let's raise up and press the hips not all the way back, but just up over the knees. Take Ahatasana. The heart melts towards the ground. The hands are stretched forward, the hips over the knees. Just allow the forehead to rest gently on the mat. And take a couple of really opening breaths. We have the ribs that have space on the side, the back, the front. And take a deep breath there. And come to hands and knees, lift slightly. So we're back here. We'll take a bow pulling posture with a cross action. So right leg extends out, bring it hip height, this time hamstring curl. You're going to look back and see if your knee is above the hip. I want it maybe an inch or 2 above the hip. So we keep pressing the heel into an invisible ceiling. So we strengthen the hamstring, then curl the heel in even more. And take the left arm off the mat, find your balance here. Get some leverage, and then all the way around, catch the foot and press the foot into the hands. We're opening up to a bow pulling extension pose. Keep the fingers wide, the grip on your ground is tiger paw action. Strong forearms. And that's already 3 breaths, so release gently. Leg and arm come back to the earth. We'll take it to the second side. Left leg extends back, lift the leg to the heel, hamstring curl. So all the elements involved here are core, really working to stay out of the saggy low back. This is a risk. So energize the front side to support the back side. Then your hamstring is definitely lifting that leg and holding it in place. Shoulder girdle reaches the arm forward. Big circle, agility there. Catch the foot, press the foot into the hand, and now you've got some leverage to really open this up. Keep the side body long, take some deep breaths. Cultivate our self-discipline. We can do hard things, holding. One more breath, and then release, and bring the hand and the knee to the floor. We're going to do same hand, same foot, which will look quite differently. Before we go to that, walk your hands over to the right and just sit your hips off to the left a little bit. Really lengthen that side body. Get a little tiny stretch through the hip. Walk the hands to the other side. And press your right hip out. Big breath in, big breath out. And then come back to center. So same hand to foot. We'll start with the right leg. It's lifted. Now, in order to do that, we have to lean slightly to the left foot, left hand in alignment. Right hand comes up. Just find your balance here. Circle the foot and the hand towards each other, and then bow pose. So as much as possible, we're actually facing the floor. Steady. We're opening the foot and the hand, charging the chest forward. Full bow. Not full bow. It's a half bow. And then release the knee and the arm. Come back to the earth. Extra padding for the knees today. Very appropriate. Placing a block. I'm a blanket or pillow. I have a pretty thick pad. It's got a lot of good support. So my knees are quite comfortable. You take the left leg, lift, hamstring curl again. Position the weight all into the right side to lift the left arm. Sweeping motion around, catch the foot. There's definitely a play on our balance. An energizing posture with a heart opener. 2 and 1, release. Hand and foot to the floor. You'll walk hands back and come into Badakanasana. Pause for a moment. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm going to take a final posture. Not the last posture, but for apex pose. So Ustrasana, Camel Pose. Requires a lot of energy. It is also energizing. So it's a pick-me-up posture. We have been on the arms quite a bit. Let's shake the hands out. Ustrasana requires no weight bearing on the hands. We'll take a couple of progressions into this. You're going to turn your toes under, come into a vertical plane, and then the arms at your side, lean back. See how far back you can go. Drop the hands and see if you can feel the feet. Bring the arms forward and lift back up and return the arms back to your side. We'll try that twice more. So for one thing, we're really just finding the muscles that ground us. This is your quads and your inner thighs. And then finding the muscles that support the low back, that's your abs. You're toning the abs to keep that straight board look through the spine. And we're finding those muscles that help lift us forward, which are, again, the front body, all the abdominals. So from here, hands to your side, hug to center line, like you've got an invisible block between the knees. And if you have a block, you can place it there. We're gonna lean back, drop the arms. See if you can touch the feet. Some will, some won't. Okay. And then we're not inverting yet. We're gonna bring the arms forward, still flat forward here. Reach forward and bring the arms back down to your side. So you're feeling that in your inner thighs and your quads for sure. That's rooting down. You also should feel it right here in your center. So one more time. Squeeze inner thighs. We're leaning back. Dropping the arms. Reaching the heel. Arms come forward and lift back to center. So we'll do that action with the idea of inverting the heart upward. So it's not going to be a plank, it's going to lift. And then we drop a hand and the other arm comes overhead. And the arm that's overhead reaches forward, pulls us back to center and drops down. Now all together, we'll do that. We'll hold it for 3 counts. Inner thighs hug in. You're gonna lean back slightly, drop the right hand to your heel, open the heart, chest towards the sky, invert this. So we're lifting, opening the clavicle, left arm comes overhead. You can tuck the chin or hold the head here. 3, 2, keep hugging the inner thighs, root down through from the waist into the floor. 1, bring the arm forward, not the head. Lift yourself back up. Use the whole front body and lower the arm. Turn the toes down to the floor and sit back on your heels. Now take an assessment here. How is your low back feeling? There should be no consequence to that back extension. If you feel it in your low back, then the invitation this next time is to place the hands on the back and support your back and only progress to the lift where you feel the extension and you have to hold it. Okay, that's going to be all that's necessary. So hands on the base of the spine, lifting the sternum and hold here. Those who want to drop back and take a hold of the left heel. Toes turned under so easier reach. And then you can sweep the right arm all the way over. The movement of the hips is forward and plugging down. The movement of the chest is lifting and lightening up. And moving away from each other. Right arm comes forward, pulls us back to center, and then we drop back down onto the heels. My low back feels good. It didn't when I first started yoga and I was doing Ustrasana or Camel. And I was literally bending my low back because I had no mobility whatsoever in my shoulders. They're pretty much stuck here from being a programmer for 15 years. So it took me a long time to get that beautiful arch to happen and to open up and the spine to change its memory. Give yourself time and space to enjoy where you are right now and the strengthening that can come from being present and taking progressions that are right for you. Okay, so from here, bring the hands forward. You're going to cross the right foot on top of the left and sit back again. This might be uncomfortably painful. We're pressing the pressure points of the foot. If this is super uncomfortable, you can change it up. Take a screaming toe if that's another preference. Now lean forward, plant the hands on your mat. If you have a block and you're raised up, that will be a little easier. I'm going to raise myself up by using my fingertips. That gives me a couple of inches at least. And then I'm pressing down to lift the knees off the ground, and I'm just hovering. If you'd like, you can bring the feet as well up and tuck. We'll do that 3 times. That's 1, 2, knees lift, 3, good, and then lift forward, switch the foot that's on top, sit back again, the heels, the arch of your foot, a proper massage, proper acupuncture pressure. There we go. Acupressure points. There we go. Now the hands planted to the earth. I'm between the knee and the hip, about pretty evenly spaced. As I push down, I can lift the knees towards me. That action engages the belly. Engages the belly. It helps your low back feel good. And then if you lift the feet, that's a full ab engagement. 2, hover for a breath or 2 or 3. 1 on your last one, bring the feet through and come to seated position. Shake the legs out. Deep breath in, drop the hands back and pull the heels towards you. Come into a tabletop, lifting the hips. I can feel the coolness on my head. It's in the shade. The sun is very hot today. It's about 10 degrees hotter when I come out of the shade. No complaints here. I'm really enjoying the sun. Just take the knees wide and the hands to the ankles, lifting up through the spine. Badakanasana. If you like, fold it forward. Releasing in the hip. It was just really a fun, exhilarating practice, one that can wake you up. Bring the knees back to your center. Walk the feet just slightly forward. So we've got this shape. We're going to lean back and take this opportunity to breathe 10 times with the belly and a fire action. So hands on the knees. You're going to pull the belly in and press the air out forcefully. Keep going. Kapalabhati breath or fire breath. It's already 30. 40. If you want, you can release the hands. 50. 3, 2, 1. Lift up. Inhale the arms overhead. Stretch the spine long. Get out of your low back. Hold the breath at the top. And exhale, release. To the back one more time. You're between the sit bones and the tailbone. Leaning back slightly, hands underneath the knees. 54 or more. Abdominal contractions called pumping. 10. If you want to challenge yourself, take the arms off the knees or lift the toes. 20. 30. 40. Stay with me. 50. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, raise back up. Take the hands overhead, Akini Mudra. 5 fingers touching, knees narrow. Full breath in, full breath out. And then release the hands to the knees and roll all the way down onto your back. I think I'm disappearing into the shade as well. So the knees come into the chest. Give a little rock side to side. Keep your right knee hugging in. So take the left leg and extend it down to the floor. So the heel is pressing forward, the thigh is pressing down, and we're straightening the leg. With that grounded leg strong and steady and stable, and free to mobilize the bent knee up towards your shoulder. Just as much as it will go. Keep the breath full and deep. Unfold the right leg so it's facing the sky, directly upward, holding behind the hamstring, just slightly below the knee, or the upper hamstring here. Press the leg into the hand, so you're giving some resistance here. Inhale. Exhale, release. And you might see the leg have some movement to it. Shift the hands to mid hamstring. Press the leg forward again. Push, 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 push. And then release. Take the hand up towards the knee one more time. With pressure. And then a last time with the hand on the calf. If you can, you may also want to bend the bottom leg at this point. Push the calf into the hand. I'm going to straighten my leg. Pull. So we have some resistance here. And release the resistance and allow the leg to come closer towards the forehead. We're going to lift the head, neck, and shoulders and move the forehead towards the shin. Touching 3, 2. So yeah, in essence, we're doing a supine split. 1. Release the torso. Take your right leg out to the side. Oh, it's just really has a really nice effect for the back. And releasing, if we keep the hips flush, flat to the floor. Pedestal holding for the right leg, or big toe holding. And bring the leg back to center. Switch the hand that's holding. And it can be holding the outer edge or underneath. We're going to lay the leg all the way across the body to the other side, and then I'm holding it like a pedestal. If you're touching the foot to the floor, that's fine too. For me, that's just a really strong, too far of a stretch. I like this gently stretch for my low back. My shoulders can release to the floor, and I'm getting the benefit, all the benefit I need. Plus there's a big, long stretch down the side of the leg. Yes, yowie. Big breath in and big breath out. As you bring the right leg back up to the sky, we're going to bend your left knee and cross the ankle. So allow that knee to open. Press the thigh gently, and then bring the knee in. Move it through the triangle shape. Oh. Heaven on earth for your hip to get a little stretch here. Go as deeply as you like. And then release. Left leg to the floor. Right foot to the sky. Half happy baby. And then release that leg all the way to the ground. Reach the arms overhead. Big breath. Inhale. Elongate through the trunk. All the way through the feet. As you exhale, draw the left knee in. Anchor the right leg. So the thigh is pressing down, the heel is pressing forward. The left knee coming towards the shoulder. We're at the beginning of our split. Everybody can do the splits, right? It's It's this extra extension that really brings us into some trouble here. Let's take the leg to the sky. Bring the hands about mid hamstring, interlaced, and then push the hamstring into the hands. You pull back, shoulders pressing into the earth, and then release. Move the hands towards the knee. Press again. Release. Move the hands to the calf or keep them closer to the knee and press. So again, we're creating some resistance here. And as you release, allow the leg to come all the way overhead. Shaking is good. I forget that happens until it happens to me. Shaking is good. It does happen. It's the awareness is your legs and muscles are doing something different. Lift the torso towards forehead towards the shin. You're going to this full split. Release the torso back to the earth and open the leg out to the side, the foot. So the heel is lifting upward or turning towards the sky, the big toe towards the floor. Ever so gently, because there's so many ligaments here. If you're feeling super tight, bend your bottom leg. Take the angst out of this. Keep the hips anchored to the floor. You can create progressions that feel good to the body and allow you to progress versus trying to force a round peg into a square hole. That's not helpful for anyone. So bring the leg back to vertical. We're going to cross it all the way over, and I'm holding like a pedestal again. So my shoulders can anchor to the floor. And I'm going to pull the hip back just gently as I press the heel forward. That's going to open this whole side. Big breath in, big breath out. Oh. As you lift the leg back to center, you're going to pull, bend both knees in, meet the knee to the ankle and draw the knee towards you. Thread the needle. So I think I would call this eye of the needle. That's great. Feet active. Low back to the mat. This nice, beautiful stretch in the hip. And release the right leg all the way to the earth and bring the left foot to the sky. So this would look much like a low lunge if we were flipped over. Here it's supine, and we call it a half happy baby. Your low back gets a nice rest. Your inner thigh gets a very strong stretch and opening. We're going to lift the right foot up and match the happy baby. So your hands could be on the outside. I've got mine threaded in and then going to the outside. Another way is just inside, or all the way to the outside. But this one is comfortable for me, so I'm going to do it. Press the hips down, let your sacrum float to the floor. Feel the length, the whole length of the spine pressing into the mat. And then a gentle release, bring the feet together. Now I'm in a position where I can clasp the hands, either overhand or underhand, whichever you're doing, and press the feet over the nose. So you're trying to straighten the feet, the legs, but the feet are together. You're straightening the legs, but the feet are together. Straightening the legs, feet are together. Okay, no forcing. This is just gentle. Breathe in, breathe out. Enjoy where you are at, and then make a note of it. Perhaps when you try this again next time, it will be a little bit more spacious for you. Let's release. The self-discipline is all about knowing when to say when. Enough is just right for me. Place the feet on the floor, the palms in the crease of the hip, and press the thigh bone. Just Really want to release the whole back side, the low back especially, raising up from the floor. And then as you exhale, let the low back come towards the floor, navel to the spine. Inhale, press into the crease of the hip, raise the low back. Exhale, press the low back into the mat. Release the resistance. One more time, resist. Pressing, and then exhale, release. Arms down to your side. Raise the hips up. Inhale. Walk your feet underneath you. Shoulder blades underneath you. Hold bridge. Bring the arms overhead. Inhale. Hold the arms overhead. Exhale. Drop the hips to the floor. Inhale. Bring the arms down, but raise the hips. Exhale, lower the hips, but raise the arms. They're in opposition to each other. Inhale, switch. Exhale, hips down, arms go overhead. Hold here. Bring your arms in goal post. Widen the stance of your feet. And then drop your knees over to the right, over to one side. Turn the head and look the other direction. Inhale, both knees come to center. Roll the head to the other direction as the knees fall gently to the other side. Get back to center. Any posture of your choice for 10 breaths. You may want to do an inversion today. Headstand would be quite appropriate. I am not workshopping it. I'm not teaching it to you. So you better have it, make sure that you know what you're doing if that's your choice. Shoulder stand would be an option as well. Broaden the shoulders. Supported shoulder stand, that's just legs up the wall. Right here in the air. The hips propped up on a block would be a supported shoulder stand. Perfect place to be. So 8 more breaths. I'll just take a shoulder stand here. Doing a half shoulder stand with the support on the thigh. Moving the hands to the base of the spine. And a half shoulder stand with the support at my hips, or raise it all the way up. Both shoulders down. It's already 8 breaths. Let's take 2 more. Slowly and gently make your way back to the earth from whatever posture you're in. Take a counter posture. So for me, in shoulder stand, I'm going to take the hands, bring them right underneath the hips, elbow to the floor. Lower the legs gently and raise the chest and fish. Bring it back down. Release the hand to the earth, the legs relax into the floor. Sometimes I like to do a reset. That's a pumping of the feet with the heels anchored and the calves raised slightly, so the whole body is moving in a pulse because feet are activated. I'm not moving myself, my feet are moving me. And then release it, shake the legs out. If you are near a wall, which I am not, you can bring the legs up the wall and rest them gently like a teepee. So to do that, your hips are close to the wall. You bring the knees in tight, roll all the way up if this is the wall. Extend the legs and then scoot your hips closer to the wall. So there might be an inch or two between your hips and the wall. If you want to elevate that, you can. Place something underneath the sacrum like a block or a bolster. And hold legs at the wall. Very cooling, gentle, calming posture with so many benefits. But that's what I would encourage you to do if you have a wall beside you. Otherwise, we're just releasing into Shavasana. Layer where the head and the heart are in an equal plane. Samana is what we're after. Harmony, we're reaching that balance. Sattva, balance in the body, balance in the mind. In tune with ourselves. To deepen your awareness and go into the cave of the heart, elicit your imagination for a moment. And imagine that you are actually walking into a heart-shaped cave. It's cool, it's sheltering you, it's supportive, and it's not too cold. You can light a fire anytime you'd like inside that cave to warm the hands and warm the body. There's freedom to stand or to sit. It's very quiet, nurturing. As you draw inward into the cave of the heart, or heart cave, imagine yourself going a little bit deeper into the bowels of the heart. Just hearing and listening to the rhythm of the earth. You might hear a gentle sound of a river runs through the rock, through the cave. Hear the gentle pulsation of the breeze, gentle wind. Notice how you feel. Only invite those friends or angels into your space who will protect you and also ignite with you in your passion. Be supportive. As you go into the cave of the heart, what is your heart saying? What is my purpose? How do I live my Dharma? Listen in. Hear what your heart has to say. If it brings you joy, there is truth. If it brings you guilt, shame, or depreciates you in any way, it is limiting. It is a limiting belief. It doesn't allow your heart to soar. Revisit cave of the heart anytime you want to connect with your authentic self, pure wisdom, and Invite only those who support you into your cave. Deepen and lengthen your in-breath. Let's stretch the arms and the legs to ready ourselves. And down at the heart of the cave, bending the knees into the sunlight as you roll over into your side. And gently help yourself up to seated posture on the mat. Metaphorically, the cave of the heart, the work we do on our mat is that the work that we now go forward and do in our life. Your hands to your heart center. As you listen in, there's probably an action to take today. Steps you in the right direction, motivate, inspire yourself and others. Use the self-discipline of Tapas to make that action happen. Thank you for your presence, your practice, and this journey you sojourn together. Namaste. Thank you, Facebook friends. And